A Most Violent Year, directed by J.C. Chandler, who's also made Margin Call and Triple Frontier, starring Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain. The film takes place in the 1981 New York. Oscar Isaac plays Abel Morales, the owner of a fuel business. He sells and transports heating oil. He presents himself as a proudly self-made man, someone who worked very hard to get where he is for his success, and his company has been growing steadily. At the very beginning of the film, we see him put down a large cash deposit on a deal that he's been working on for quite some time. He wants to buy an old terminal, which would allow him to significantly expand his operations. The terms of the contract state that he needs to get the rest of the money in 30 days, otherwise the deposit is gone completely and the land goes to his competitor. And as you may expect, very quickly things start going south. First of all, the truck drivers working for Abel keep getting assaulted and the trucks full of oil are regularly stolen, as Abel suspects, by one of his competitors. Then there's an armed invader at his house in the middle of the night, and when he asks the DA for help, or at least information on who that may have been, he is informed that the investigation against him is bearing fruit and charges will be pressed against him right next week, including corruption and financial fraud and so on. With pressure mounting from all sides, the big terminal deal from the beginning is increasingly threatened, and with it, the entire livelihood of Abel and his family, which means he is forced to make some very difficult decisions. Now, this description makes the movie sound kind of like a crime thriller, but it actually isn't that. It's a full-fledged drama about morals, about life philosophy, about choices that we make in the face of desperation and pressure. Abel is a complex character because we do get the sense that as a successful businessman, he's not exactly, an altruist. He has his own interests at heart. He's not above manipulating his customers and clients. His company probably has some sins hidden in the books, but he also does project this weird sense of honor, a code, a moral backbone. He insists on continuing to do things his way, the right way. He doesn't want to take any shortcuts and become a gangster, which is a way of life he despises. He wants to continue being a legit businessman, but circumstances prove that that may be almost impossible, and at the very least, insanely difficult. The choices he is faced with could be summarized in general as doing things the morally right way or doing them the easy way. And the movie hinges on this ongoing question: will Abel break? And if so, when? Which factor will be the one that will finally push him to throw away his ethics? I think that these moral dilemmas are handled very well, and certainly having Oscar Isaac at the center of the film helps. He's really magnetic in the role because the character is many things, certainly. And the character is not easy, it's not exactly easy to decipher at all times. Sometimes we know exactly from his acting what's going on through his mind. Other times he keeps his guard up, as a successful businessman would, and he doesn't reveal his thoughts. So I think it's a great, nuanced performance. I also like the production design of the film, especially the clothes and the cars, which are taken straight out of the early 1980s. All of that looks very authentic. And the movie also has an interesting look to it in terms of cinematography, because the story takes place in the winter, and yet the color palette is far from cold. There's a lot of sun and warmth in the scenes, which sets the atmosphere of this sunny but cold winter afternoon and makes the cinematography quite distinct. So I really, really like this film. I think if you just know what you're signing up for, you will like it as well. Just don't expect an action crime thriller because you won't get that. Instead, what you have is a fascinating study of a man grappling with his morals.